Hi, a very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf. I hope I find you well. Myself, running with a little bit of a cold, so I'm going to try and muddle through this and hopefully it's not too bad. Today we're going to be building this Langley Miniature Models Ffestiniog Fairlie. So this is a white metal kit from Langley Models. Interesting to see the price here, £22.50. These are just shy of £100 now, and yeah, this is quite an older kit, so I don't know what I'm going to find in here. I have actually opened it just to check it was in there, but I haven't looked at any of the components, so hopefully it's okay. Now, confession time, I have actually built two of these in the past. Actually assembling them was probably about 10 years ago, and I've actually just finished them recently, but I didn't film the completion of those. So this one I'm going to build from scratch. Now, my donor for this is this little Bachmann loco that I've got here. The chassis is slightly different to the one I used in the past, so I'm hoping it's going to fit, but we'll see how we go and see if it does fit in this model. Anyway, let's have a look inside. What have we got in the box? A little bit of packing material, and there's definitely components in here, which is good. More packing material. Right. Okay, so the brasswork needs a little bit of a spruce up. It's seen better days. You can see there the moisture's got to it. That'll soon clear up, I'm sure it will. What we've got in here, let's get my knife so I can open it. I'm assuming this is the body casting. Some components there. More components. Casting on these is absolutely wonderful, you know, for die casting. Absolutely superb. And one chassis plate. Leave that over there. So what I'm going to try and do today is get this assembled to a point where I can get some paint on there and do the first part of sort of preparing it for completion. Well, it's thrown me a little bit because the one I built before, basically the chassis rails were included in the kit. You took the components out of the Bachmann chassis and mounted them back onto a chassis that was supplied with the kit. This one, it looks like you actually just modify the given chassis that you see here, so not a problem, we can do that. So let's make a start. Right, just looking at these castings, trying to mount them onto the chassis. Neither are sitting. You can see there, it's just a little bit too wide, so I'm going to start, I think, by filing back these side pieces just a little bit, if I can. Put my other glasses on. Actually marking the chassis there, don't want to do that. Maybe I'm better to take it off the inside of this. It didn't take a lot, it's just got that sitting down quite nicely. I think the other end's pretty good. Yeah, same problem at this end. Oh no, that doesn't look too bad. Right, I think I can glue those in. They look pretty good. Now, it does say to use solder or a suitable type of glue. As always, I'll be using super glue for this. I'm using this industrial grade. I've shown this many times on the channel. I buy this from, I think it's Tool Station. Comes in two grades. You've got sort of the runny grade and then a thicker one for different applications. If you know, obviously if you don't want it to run, you use a thicker one. And there's also an activator spray. If you spray this on, it goes off instantly, but you usually get a couple of minutes of sort of working the material. a little bit of a bend in it. Am I worried about that? Probably not. Okay. I'm just going to wipe a little bit of that glue off. I put too much on. Pretty good. Let's do this side. Right, one of the things I don't like is obviously we've got a little short shot in the moulding there, so I am going to fill that while I'm here. I think the best way to do that. Am I better to leave it? Now what I've actually done, where my filler had gone off, so I've used the thicker super glue and just put some on the inside, and it's run along underneath the where the gap was and kind of hidden it, which is pretty good. Just put a little bit of hardener on there, let that go off. Right, some more of the detailing. You still have a little bit of the sprue on them. I'll take that off. Keep it in case I needed it. I don't think I do. It's not a bad fit. That's not bad at all. Right, smoke box doors. Should have dry fitted that. No, it's not going in there. Nope. That's okay. Not very well fitted at the bottom. Perfect. Okay, cab insides. Now how do these go in? These slide down. Right, these two firebox doors need to be mounted in here. I'm just going to check which way round they go. It doesn't say. So I would assume that way round. One here. this side. Brake lever. And then on the other side, the reversing lever. I have to say, this is a lot more detailed than the other kit that I did. A lot of the components on here, I mean, these parts were moulded into the chassis. Looked a little bit naff, but these are separately fitted, which is great. Right, let's try and dry fit these again. Maybe from underneath, yeah. Yeah, like that, I think. Well, I've taken a bit of time to get the roof fitting properly. I'm just going to take the windows out now. They need to just be filed out. So a little bit of flashing over the. Okay, let's get the smoke box doors glued in. Right, let's do this again. That's one side in. Where's the other one? There it is. Let's just dry fit this. Oh, we've lost the. Look at that. It's caught it. That's not too bad. Just want to try and work a little bit more glue in. Okay, let's get the how to do this. Well, I've done this a little bit off camera. What I've done is I've been grinding away inside the body here to try and get the chassis to fit inside. I couldn't find the chuck for my Dremel, so I've had to use the big drill. It was making an awful noise, so hence why off camera. I did knock this door off, so I'm just going to glue that back in. Right, let's get on with it. Well, I didn't film most of that because it's a bit monotonous, but basically chop the two ends off of the chassis, so you can see this has been trimmed back and this end has been trimmed back as well, and then filed down the sides, filed down the bottom, and I've removed a lot of material inside. Basically where the domes had their little tails on, I've cut those off, and eventually, after a lot of perseverance, it's taken me a couple of hours, I've got the chassis to drop in there quite nicely. So with that done, I've also fitted the base plate. That's ready to go on, so that's ready to be painted. Next job is now to turn my attention to these two little bogies and yeah, try and work out how these go together. Right, so that all comes away like so. Just leaves me with this, which is quite useful. Okay, so with that off of there, what I should have done is made a note of which way round it goes. That was the tail. Yep. So this now has a replacement that comes with the kit, which is this part here. Well, that's going to fit in there lovely, look at that. A little bit of a mod at the back there. That's come out a treat. It really does fit. So I can glue that on, I think. Right. Right, that's that one done. Let's do the other one. Go with this one with a little bit more confidence, I think. Oh, there it is. Just a little bit of flashing in there. I should have done this on the other one actually, rather than modifying the plastic. Right, let's try that again. Let's do that. Let's do that and then go back to that. Okay, so now we need the couplings on there. Let's try that again. That's one of them. Okay, and the other one. Way up. Right, let's glue these cylinders on. Right, make sure I get these around the right way. All fingers today. Right, give those a moment to set, and then I'm going to reassemble the chassis into the train and just give it a little run before I proceed to paint. Let's drop the body on and let's go and give it a quick test run. Already looking rather good. Well, believe it or not, 2 hours have passed, and I brought it over to the track, and absolutely nothing at all. No power. It took me ages to find where the problem was. There's a pickup either end of the bogie. The one closest to the middle picks up and feeds one side of the motor. The one at the other end picks up and earths the body. There's no pickup at this end, and where I'd cut the chassis away, it lost the connection down onto the chassis plate. So it doesn't matter what I did, I couldn't get anything in there without disturbing the body to actually make the connection. I finally ended up putting a blob of solder on top of the connection and then just taking my time filing it down until I've got the connection where I want it. Now, how reliable it's going to be, I don't know. But it is moving in both directions, which is a major step forward from earlier on this afternoon. Now, depending on the order that I put these videos out, you're either watching the video putting the Ffestiniog Push Me Pull You or the Fairlie together, or the England locos, but I'm spraying them all at the same time, so if you haven't seen one or the other videos, there's a surprise coming in what's coming in the future. Right, so the paint I'm using, it's an enamel paint from Rail Match. This is BR Crimson, probably slightly the wrong colour, but it's the closest I can get to the locos on the Ffestiniog. Well, it's the following day. It's come up an absolute treat. Now, I'm going to leave this for a day or two to cure. I have found with this paint, it you know, takes time to set properly, so I'll leave that for a day or two, and then I'll mask it up ready for completion. I need to turn my attention now to these parts here. So turning my attention then to the valve gear that goes on the side of the wheels. Obviously, over time, the water's got in on this kit. These are in a little bit of a sorry state, so I'm kind of thinking My initial reaction was I'll polish these out and it'll be fine, but these are so fragile. Well, managed to get these to come up quite nicely with a little bit of help from my father with one of his polishing machines. Got all the grime off of there. The only thing is one of them rotted so bad, I don't know whether that's showing up on there. One of the cross sliders you can see is missing, so got a little bit of brass here, need to make a new one of those. The nameplates came up pretty good as well. Well, it does feel like it's taken me an eternity to mask this up. So basically all the areas that are covered in masking tape, they're going to remain red. The rest of it is going to get sprayed black. But you can see I've tried to capture the bits on the side and around the front there. There's a red line that runs around the edge. I don't know how that's going to come out. Yeah, just being careful not to move any of the masking tape now that I've got it in the positions I want. So the next step is take this outside, spray it over. Going to give a very dry coat on here to try and stop any seepage under the tape. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Right, moment of truth. Let's peel these off. Now, I think I've said before on my videos, I'm not a particularly good painter. And yeah, generally I don't get away without any blemishes. So I'm expecting something on here. Little bit of a paint mark there, but again, nothing that can't be corrected. Not looking too bad so far. Not too bad. A little bit of damage, a little bit of blemish. This one's a bit of a shame. May need a little bit of a touch up, but otherwise not too bad. It's not. It's come out rather well. Right, turning my attention over to the motion. So having done one of these before, this is not the easiest of things to do. So first things first, get the wheel covers off of here and get these put onto the chassis. Tweezers. Do all of the crossheads, I think, while I'm at it. Let's do this next one. Okay, that's that one done. Just open out the bottom a little bit. Feels better already. A bit of glue under the head there. Well, I'm afraid I've not had an awfully good time doing this part of the model. Really struggled with this, and been on this now for 2-3 nights. Now the problem being, there should be a little conrod that runs between the two wheels. Now, apart from my stamping, my etching being very, very thin and half of them broken, I've had to make new sliders here, and they're just quite simply, there's not enough gap in between the wheel and the slider to get the conrod in there. So what I've decided to do, just take the conrod out completely. I mean, I've gone round in circles so many times. You can see how much I've taken all the paint off by just by going back at it time and time again. So just going to leave the one conrod in here up to the motion, and just leave it nice and simple. Works, you know, it's got some robustness in it. I think if I try and be too clever on this, I'm just going to have problems running it forevermore. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the other set of wheels. Now, I mentioned at the start of the video, I have another 2 Fairlies models from Langley. Now those, I asked a friend actually to line those. He's a professional painter, but you know, I don't feel like I can go and ask again, so I'm going to have a go myself. Now this is a lining pen. It's a master lining pen. Just show you it here. So it's R.L. Moore Engineering, Stapleford, Melton Mowbray, and what we do with this, you can see I mixed up a little bit of paint here. Now thinned it down quite a considerable amount, and then the trick with this is to move the line and keep the brush at an angle. Hopefully that's showing up on the camera. So you tilt the tip. Yeah, quite a nice line on there. So just bring the loco in. The plan is to try and put some lines on the loco. Let's see how this goes. Maybe the glasses as well, I can't see. It's not too bad. do. Looking good. You see it's quite subtle. It's just a little red line around the edges. So that's that one done. It's all good. Now, depending on the order that these videos come out, I'm doing sort of a parallel build here of the Fairlie and the two England logos. Now, I've just put the white lining on the England logos, and I'm now coming to do the Fairlie. And what I said, basically, where I've lined in red on red, you know, any little mistakes, they really don't show up. You really do have to look for them. I don't think I've got the skill to do like a silver or a gold line or a white line. So what I've done is taken a little bit of artistic license and made some stickers in PowerPoint. So these are just quite simply made these shapes in the software and then printed them out onto the piece of paper that you see here. And I'm hoping they're the right size and they're going to drop straight on the logo and look fairly good on there. Yeah, let's cut some of these out and see what they look like. I've had two different sort of cab doors. There's this one here, which is more of a square type, and then there's this one which is shaped. I'm going to try the shaped one first. Now, that's something I did learn on the small England logos, is to do the inside first. Don't try and do the outside. I also said on my previous Fairlie builds, I had them professionally painted, but I can't ask that favour again. So that's why I needed to come up with something that I could do. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Yeah, I'm going to go with that, I think. Just slide it up a little bit. No, I think best to leave it, I'll damage it. Right, let's do the next one. Yeah, the door markings on. Now for the bits that go around the boiler, or the water tank, should I say. That looks really good. Right, so I do have handrails to go on here, they just haven't arrived yet, so I'm going to drill that out first, and then when that's done, I've got these decals here. These are from, actually from the Ffestiniog shop. I bought these in the Ffestiniog railway shop from custom decals, and these ones are Langley models, so there's several different types in here. So yeah, we'll come to those in a minute. But first, let's get these handrail locations drilled out. Right, leave that to one side. We begin to feel like I'm on the home run. So last night I've put the smoke block darts in, vacuum pipes and the whistles. Did that off camera just to finish off the evening. Now I'm going to put on the cylinders, just some white markings that I've printed out on here. Hopefully they're the right size. Let's give them a go. One more. Right, let's do the next one. That's those on. Right, grab rails. So arrived in the post today are these, which are the handrails. These are Allen Gibson handrails. A little bit expensive, but they are superb. And I mean, when you think how on earth do they make these? You know, they're so fine. I say they're expensive. I mean, these were around about £10, and there's 20 of them in here, or 25 of them actually in here. So not bad at all, really. Some of these out, not too many. And then I need some wire, which is just here in front of the camera. I need to thread 3 of these onto the wire. I can't even see the hole. I'm gonna have to... Well, that shouldn't have been that odd. So as you've probably guessed, it's not the best of runners. Chassis on this one's been an absolute nightmare. The two power bogies at either end, I just can't get the rotation on them. I've had to put wires down to them to get the connection through. Just can't get the rotation, hence why I'm not running this around the curves on my track, which is a shame. So, you know, maybe in the future I'll replace the bogies on here and get it running properly. Body wise, I don't think it's come out too bad. I mean, you know, it doesn't look perfect, and when you compare it to the new Bachmann locos, I mean, there's no comparison, is there? The Bachmann ones are absolutely perfect, but you know, this is a kit built loco, and I'm actually quite proud of what I've done here. I mean, it's not perfect. You saw the paint earlier in the video. It's not the best, but with my very average modelling skills, I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, and I've actually really enjoyed doing it. So I'd highly recommend these Langley kits. Give them a go. They are quite expensive, but you know, you do get what you pay for, and the castings on these absolutely lovely, and there is this sense of achievement when you finally see it running, albeit with this one not a very strong runner. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and why not check out the channel. There's lots on there, lots of 009 bits and pieces on there, the making of this layout, there's the England locos that I spoke about in this video. There's also a review of Linda, the Bachmann loco, and if you can subscribe, I'd be really, really grateful. And with that, we'll leave this one there. I'll just say thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.